Hey everyone, this is Willie from Nixon's Marine. Come on out and join us for the 2022 Big Bass Tournament on May 14th at Potholes Reservoir for your chance to win a brand new Skeeter ZX200 powered with a Yamaha 200 SHO, presented by Nixon's Marine Skeeter Boats and Yamaha Outboards. Hourly payouts, prizes, and raffle items provided by multiple sponsors and 7 chances to win a new Skeeter. Registration forms and rules can be found at northwestbass.com. Check out the list of sponsors and make sure to give them your support.
Today on Northwest Spotlight, we welcome Sean Dougherty of the WDFW. Sean, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about your background and what you do with WDFW.
Yeah, sure. So I'm the district wildlife biologist for Grant and Adams County. So I kind of sat in charge of all of the wildlife management activities, coordinating survey efforts, setting permit numbers, that sort of thing, and then just kind of deal with the public and all that sort of thing. So as far as my background goes, I've been with DFW just over 9 years this past February. So done a couple things. Was a private lands biologist when I first came on, and but other than that, that's pretty much it.
And where were you before you came to?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So prior to coming, well, I guess a little bit further back. So I graduated from West Virginia University, so I'm an East Coast transplant. Grew up in West Virginia, all that sort of thing, and then went to West Virginia University, got a couple of bachelor's degrees there, pursued a master's degree at the University of Delaware, then bounced around a little bit doing temporary jobs, mostly in the Eastern United States. I guess Midwest. I was in Illinois for a bit. Then I moved to New Jersey and worked there for a couple of years, and got tired of New Jersey and needed to get out, and decided to apply anywhere that would have me, and I landed in Freda, Washington.
Nice. So speaking of DFW and Freda in the area, so we're in that period between hunting seasons for the most part right now. So if someone is looking to get outside, do something wildlife related, what would you recommend to them for this time of year?
Sure. There's all sorts of wildlife recreation. So the big thing probably right now is wildlife or waterfowl migration. Mm-hmm. So it's in full swing right now. There's migrant waterfowl moving through, so ducks and geese and snow geese. There's a late snow goose hunting that's about to end if it hasn't already. Actually, excuse me, it ended on March 2nd.
Okay.
So just yesterday, but that was going in full swing, but there's still plenty of stuff moving through just the area in general. So anybody that has an interest, and then as that continues to warm up, we'll transition into more of the sort of other species. So we get random things kind of popping in. Burrowing owls are a big one, a big draw. Sandhill cranes is another one. So in the area. And then outside of that, the sandhill cranes, so that's kind of a big draw in this area. And then they use this as a stopover point on their way further north for their breeding areas and all that sort of thing. And if you're interested, there's a Othello Sandhill Crane Festival. I believe that's March 25th and 26th. And you can check out their website.
That's coming right up.
Mm-hmm. Yep, very soon.
Nice. So what about, tell me about shed hunting.
Sure. Yeah, so deer, elk, all of them, they shed their antlers on an annual basis. So the big draw here locally, at least in Grant County, is the GMU 290. So that's the desert unit. It's one of the more coveted quality hunting opportunities offered in the state. Arguably the most, but I feel like that's, it's very subjective, of course.
Sure.
But we tend to grow pretty big deer there, since there are limited opportunities for people to get in there and harvest. So the deer are able to get older and therefore larger antlers, that sort of thing. So, people, it's a pretty pretty good opportunity to get out in the spring when the weather's nice. And so a couple things about shed hunting, of course, so responsible shed hunting is pretty key. You don't want to disturb them when they're on a wintering area, but fortunately here in the Columbia Basin, winter seems like it's pretty well over. So the impacts to deer specifically are going to be really minimal. I would encourage people not to chase or pursue deer on anything, any motor vehicles or otherwise, or really, if you see a deer and it has its antlers, like perhaps walk around it, that sort of thing. And then, if you get out in some of the like Chelan, Okanagan counties, like winter's still pretty well set in over there. So, there's a higher likelihood of potentially causing some disturbance. And of course, you don't want to kill a deer or have a deer result in death if you're chasing a deer just to get the antlers off or something like that.
So you mentioned the basin, and the Columbia Basin Wildlife Area it's right here in our backyard. How can people enjoy it this time of year?
Yeah, so as the weather warms up, we're gonna have lots more opportunities. But right now, the trout fishing just opened up on a bunch of the lowland lakes, so that's going to be a big draw for everywhere. The ice condition, there's a lot of the ponds and lakes and such. Some of them have ice on it.
Mhm.
I would imagine with the warmer temperatures and the sunny days, that ice is going to be pretty treacherous. However, I would say there's pretty ample opportunities. And then as we get later into March, those opportunities will just continue to increase. And then outside of that, as we get, say, transition into later into March and even into April, wildflowers are going to start blooming. April and May are like pretty great time to be in the Columbia Basin just in general.
Sure. And you brought up the warmer weather that's right around the corner, hopefully. We're going to be getting to there pretty quickly, I would think. So what do you have coming up that people can do around the Moses Lake area when the weather does get warmer and there is less snow and ice?
Yeah, sure. Right. So I would really look at, so some of our opportunities, recreational hiking, just getting outside. I don't know about anyone else, but I've been had some pretty aggressive cabin fever recently. So
Sure.
Sunny days have been just a delight, in all honesty. So it's a little bit soggy still, but I'll deal with that and before it gets too hot. But yeah, hiking and all of that sort of thing. So areas to kind of check out would be the Quincy Lakes Wildlife Area. There's a whole plethora of things, mountain biking, horseback riding, all of that. Those are pretty nice. And you get further up north towards like Electric City, Grand Coulee, you have, I guess there's some areas that we manage, but then there's Northrop Canyon, but I think that's a state park area. Regardless, it's still a scenic area and a lot of fun.
Sounds like there's a lot for families to do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to get outside and let the kids run around in the sagebrush and look at flowers and such, there's quite a bit of that to be had.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. Well, Sean, I appreciate you joining us today on Northwest Spotlight. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about? Anything else you'd like to say about DFW, about your work there, about the Moses Lake area?
Yeah, sure. I would say that anybody interested in, participating in those recreational opportunities, get yourself a Discover Pass. And if you don't have a Discover Pass, you have a hunting license, you have the access pass that gets you on all the DFW lands. You won't have any issues there. Then the other thing I would say, recreate responsibly, so if you have bring in garbage, pack it in, pack it out kind of thing. So just pick up after yourself, just, having lots of conversations with other staff around the area. Garbage is a real issue. I have lots of issues with dumping, and it's a real shame because we have a lot of things to offer, but then that experience is sort of degraded because in order to walk to the wildflowers and such, or walk up the hill to go take a look at the overlook, you have to walk past this garbage pile, and it's just unsightly. And so that would be my biggest takeaway. And obviously accidents happens and things blow out of trucks, and
sure, of course,
at the same time, pack it in, pack it out. I think that'd be good for everybody. Just a good way to go.
I agree. Well, thanks again. Once again, this is Sean Dougherty of WDFW joining us on Northwest Spotlight. And Sean, thank you very much. And we appreciate your time.
All right, great. Well, thank you very much. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely.